Shalom, giving all praise unto Yahweh Hashem Hashai Bashim Makwah Akwadashad. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. And honors you brothers to be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So this is going to be a relatively quick video. I'm going to be going into the topic of strikes and protests. And as we see within the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and also to the book of 2nd Ezra 8 and 50, that it was going to be hard times within the world before the Lord returned. We also see within the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter and the 7th verse, that indeed it was going to be a time known as the time of Jacob's trouble. And so too now we see the manifestation of those prophecies throughout the four corners of the earth. And it's a damn beautiful thing to see. And yeah, we're going to have our little worries here and there, our little concerns, but that's just the flesh. The spirit rejoiceth when we see these particular things, because we understand we're about to have a situation where righteousness is established within the world. Righteousness is established on the earth. That being Yahweh Shai returning to conquer this world, to take down the red Hebrew Edomite and set up the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans as the rightful rulers on the earth, taking their position within the world. Okay, so this system of usury, as illustrated within the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, has led to a situation where the cost of living keeps on going crazy, and it's about to get worse. There's no two ways about it. It's gonna get worse, right? It's gonna get worse. But for us, the men of the Lord, we know from the scriptures that the men of the Lord are gonna eat. But we got a situation where the livelihoods of these people, their lifestyle, is getting squeezed. Let's read this article real quick. And that's all by design. That's all by design. They've done this all by design to put you in a position of temptation in order for you to more readily accept a drastic change in how you use your money. And that's going to be the MLTB system that we read about within the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. Workers take to London streets amid of cost of living crisis. And it's the next crisis, like I read in the last video. I think it was a live stream that I did last week. Okay, the next crisis that they said was going to be the cost of living. And it was all good and well when you was printing money 2 years ago for no reason, because as far as you can tell, anecdotally, the ragamuffin didn't exist, anecdotally speaking. And they printed all kind of money for that. But now you're seeing the wages of that come through. Because obviously, if you print more dollars than they've ever been printed in 2 years, then obviously there was going to be a consequence of that, right? There was going to be inflation. Thousands of protesters take to the streets to demand action against the government to demand action from the government for the cost of living crisis. And what I predict is going to happen is they'll probably cut fuel duty by it'll probably be a pathetic amount like they did last year. They cut it by about 5 pence, of which, when you look at the UK, most of the money goes into tax. When you're paying fuel, you're paying like 50. If it's like £2 a litre, you're paying about 50 pence in tax. 50 pence, 50 to 70%, 50 pence to 70 pence in just tax, meaning to say the actual fuel is about £1.20 before tax, which, when you do the maths and you look at how much fuel costs in 2008 and how much it costs now, there's not much difference, save the tax. So they're ripping these people off, okay? But they'll probably release some financial package which is based upon printing money out of thin air. That's not going to make the situation better. How do you think you got into this situation in the first place? Okay, everything's going to be sweet for what, 30 days, 60 days? Come this winter, this system might be already finished, man. Why? Because they printed more money. They printed more checks than they can cash. That's a good way of putting it. They printed more checks than they could cash. Okay, from the 2019 thing to 2020 thing, which that's still in the background. That's still lurking in the background. They could pull that card out. They paid all kind of money with energy prices within the UK going up again, the energy price cap going up again. They're saying, look, we're gonna issue out a community package where you receive like £1,000. Where do you think the money's coming from? It's coming out of thin air. That's only gonna make the situation worse. It's not gonna make the situation better. Okay. Union has called for a decent pay rate rise for public sectors, and where do you think the money's gonna come from? Now I understand if it's Barclays or something where they got like 200 to 300 million pounds in profit, and you're asking for a bigger cut of that profit. But when you're talking about public sector and you're asking for a pay rise, where do you think it's coming from? Where do you think it's coming from? So they're gonna pay out some more money, man. And it's gonna make the situation worse. So that's all I'm gonna take for that one. All right, they go into the numbers and into the figures, but people out there protesting. Rail union bosses predict strikes will spread to more sectors. So we got a rail crisis here within the UK, and he's suggesting that they're gonna be more strikes and more strikes and less access to basic things out here within the UK, right? And that's gonna be all over the place, man. Okay, that's gonna be all over the place. So it's funny how 2 years ago 2019, they were striking about one thing. Now they're striking about another thing, man. Because we're in the end times. We're in the times where the Lord is breaking down this system, allowing Esau to break this system down, and invariably, you're gonna have a situation where this system's gonna collapse. Okay, it's more. It could be this year, but it's very likely it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be very soon, man. It's gonna be very soon. Okay, it's gonna be very soon. Right, we're in the last days of the last days of the last days, man. So, hey, we look forward to it. So with that, I'm going to say, oh, praise unto Yahweh, Hashem, 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 double honors unto the apostles of great millstone, and honor your brothers, they pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.